All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. It is day 37 of the government shutdown. We are here today. We had a... All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. Sorry for the echo. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA very green on the day. Back up to 198s. Gold back over 4,000. Apple green. The Nasdaq is mostly like it's kind of flat. It's a little green, but it's not crazy green, to be honest, today. Kind of flat overall relative to where it closed. The S&P is about the same. They're mostly mixed, slightly green on the day. But tech is up. Like NVIDIA's up big from 195 to 198. AMD is mostly flat but slightly red. Apple is red as well. Meta green. Meta's back up some to 640. It's still down. I still don't want to buy it. But am I buying it? Honestly, might work. I don't know. Buying Meta kind of makes sense right now based off of how cheap it is in the PE ratio. But I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Don't copy me. We'll see what happens with Meta. But yeah, don't copy me for sure. But Meta, there's Meta. Microsoft, slightly red. So we're kind of flat right now. Some Mag 7 stocks like Netflix, Microsoft red, Meta's green, Apple's red, I believe, right? Amazon flat, Google green, and the Nasdaq is slightly green despite all this stuff. Tesla pretty green. But yeah, so we're kind of in this middle range. Bitcoin's still at 103s. Gold again back over 4,000, and markets are holding here. And so again, mixed. Market has no clear catalysts. Optimism from last week's deal and Fed cut is faded. If we take a look at yields, and today marks day 37 of the government shutdown. Day 37. They've got to get it figured out sometime soon. Again, here are yields. Yields are slightly down on the day. They opened up the day around 1.147. They're at 4.136. So slightly red on the day, but not really too big. Again, Disney earnings after the bell today. Today's day 37, marking the longest government shutdown in history. There's still no deal and no new negotiations yet. Military payday is on the 15th. I think that's the next date you want to watch. Again, we can take a look at like AMD as well here. Here's AMD. We're at 256. Slightly red for AMD, but it did bounce back up yesterday after dropping from earnings. So it filled the gap from earnings, is back up some. What's up, Chef? Morning, Baynard. Crypto. Raul, what's up, dude? Are there any reports today? Not really. We had the Bank of England reporting some stuff, but outside of that, it's still pretty light. We're waiting for the government shutdown to end, and so it was good. We had like 1,500 people here watching the ADP non-farm report, though. So we had some people watching that thing. It's just, you know, so when the data comes back, it'll still be back to normal. We just gotta wait for the data to come back. Again, Bank of England, CoreWeave and NVIDIA announced a deal, I think, here. Let me make sure. Yeah, so CoreWeave is up to almost 120. I'm showing NVIDIA-backed Vast Data Inc.'s 1.17 billion. Okay, so it's not NVIDIA, it's Vast Data and CoreWeave with a deal. OPEC output rose last month as restart continues, according to a survey. And if we look at oil back under 60. We had Warner Bros. Come out with numbers this morning. Looking at the Bank of England stuff, but they paused rates. They said UK inflation is below 2% target in second quarter of 27 under BOE forecast. Monetary policy restrictiveness decreased with bank rate reduction. They forecast shows CPI in 1 year's time at 2.5% based on market interest. 3 of the members wanted to cut it 25 basis points. They said overall risk to inflation now more balanced. Some other stuff, but yeah, they paused rates. The Bank of England. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Chef, Robert, Nick, Jason, Max, Pawn, Todd, Baynard, Pack, Raul, Jeff, Brian, Lost, Ray, BA, Det, Ava. Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah, Robinhood. Up a little bit from earnings. 142s right now for Robinhood. I kind of want to buy this dip in the NASDAQ, and somehow we've been green. I don't know how we've been green, but somehow we've been green. Yeah, my best account that I've traded on in the last month is this one. I think this is the best one. I've only had one losing day in this account. Maybe one losing day in this account. Out of the last month. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 losing day, or 12 winning days, one losing day. That's well over 90%. I'll take it. I got a bunch of good accounts right now, though. Somehow my trading has just gotten really good. Check. I was gonna buy this dip and I didn't. Maybe I should have. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these accounts. I could probably withdraw. Yeah, I've gotten payouts before. Yeah, so the Bank of England guy is speaking right now. Yeah, NASDAQ's still pretty choppy. Nvidia back up to almost 200, and I think it wants $200 a share. We had Robinhood earnings that showed up yesterday. They're at 143s right now, 143s for markets. Yeah, so Robinhood doubled its revenue. Robinhood announced their prediction market thing as well. People are getting really excited about it. So I think today they're supposed to announce Elon Musk's pay package, whether it holds up, if I remember correctly. So Elon Musk's pay package, they're supposed to announce something about it. They said, while we appreciate the significant value created under Mr. Musk's visionary role, we are concerned about the total size of the award, dilution, and lack of mitigation of key personal risk, it said in a statement. So Thursday, There's a meeting scheduled at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, Robinhood. I mean, Robinhood is kind of underwhelmingly reacted to. Like, they originally reacted well to it. They ended up dipping back down, and now they're back up some. So their earnings were good, but the reaction that we're getting from Robinhood is not, like, amazing, you know? Downtown releasing earnings. Yeah, we do have some earnings today. We had Warner Bros. Discovery come out earlier today. The market's still pretty flat, though. So we had Warner Bros. Discovery. They posted third quarter revenue of $9 billion, expected 9.13. So they actually missed a little bit. Adjusted EBITDA, which if you hear EBITDA, it stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It came in at $2.5 billion versus $2.23 billion. We also had Datadog come out. They posted 55 adjusted EPS versus 45 expected. 45 cents. Revenue of $886 million. They expected $849 million. So they beat EPS in revenue. Fiscal year EPS view 2 to 202. EPS expected 183. So better guidance as well. Revenue showed better revenue. Also for Datadog, DDOG. I'm assuming they're going to react positively because they did good on everything. Yeah. So Datadog is up pretty significantly this morning. Up to 166 on their earnings. Again, you can kind of see Warner Bros., which is down a little bit, a little underwhelming for earnings. Moderna also, they posted 51-cent loss per share. They expected almost $2 for mRNA here. And so they're gapping up a little bit on that news as well. ConocoPhillips Oil Company, they posted 161 versus 140 EPS. And they're kind of underwhelmingly reacted. They raised dividend by 8%. Guidance includes $12 billion of CapEx, $10.2 billion of adjusted operating costs, and 0 to 2% of underlying production growth. We also had some other earnings, but that was the big ones. Again, the Bank of England held rates steady this morning. So Celsius also reported this morning too. Celsius posted 42 cents for Celsius, which is CELH. They're actually down a big amount though for Celsius. Again, 42 cents, 28 expected, revenue of 725.11 versus 720 expected. So they beat EPS and revenue for Celsius. And then we also had QBTS earnings come out. QBTS posted a 41-cent loss. They expected 7 cents. That's almost a 500% difference. They posted 3.74 million. They beat revenue, which was expected at 3.12. So, but they missed EPS by a big margin here. BMO is raising Eli Lilly's price target to 1,100. Look at Eli Lilly up there. Man, this thing has had a crazy year. Catch back up in the chat. Did you see ENPH and a bunch of other solar yesterday? Assuming they beat? Yeah, but I mean, even with beats in EPS and revenue, right? Look, you can look at solar and see this big move up, and that's fine. And maybe it was worth the dip. You might have been right. I really don't know. What I know is that I don't like this chart. Even with these gains, it's a bad chart. That's a bad chart. So it bounced it up to 33 from 30. I mean, that's great and all. But this thing was at $340 a share at the beginning of 2023. So I'm just not buying it. Regardless of all that stuff. There's certain stocks that I'm just not touching. And again, you might have been right, and that's great. I'm just not buying it. Beyond Meat? Y'all are still talking about Beyond Meat, man? I'm telling you, dude. This is a pump and dump. That 130. Never gonna hold. I told you guys it wasn't gonna hold when it was at, what, $7 a share or whatever it was a couple days ago? Yeah. There's no chance this thing holds. It's Beyond Meat. Nobody buys this stuff. Let's just be, I mean, look, allegedly, nobody buys this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it might be worth the squeeze, Rando, but I think once you mature as a trader, not you necessarily, but once, like, I used to chase what was the shiniest thing in markets. You know, I used to chase, like, everything that was shiny, you know, and eventually you learn a lot of it's just gambling. So, like, yeah, it might work out. It also might drop 50% while you're holding it, you know, and so because of that, I don't really try to chase squeezes anymore. I think that's kind of a risky thing to do. Despite the short flow to ratio, I'm just not really interested in doing it. You might have been right. Like I said, it's just not my style, bro. I don't really see anybody saying anything ban-worthy today this morning, no? I mean, he's saying I told you so, but that's pretty standard. I mean, I'll allow it. I definitely say I told you so enough to allow other people to say it to me occasionally, you know? So it's all good. All right, so U.S.-based employers announced 153,000 job cuts in October, which was up 175%. Did we get the Challenger job cuts today? We did get the Challenger job cuts today. They should have been 153,000 versus 54,000 last time. 153,000 job cuts for the Challenger job cuts. This isn't usually a big report. It's honestly generally a pretty small report, and I think it still is because the market didn't react to this at all. But Challenger job cuts for October. Again, we're on the data blackout, but they showed up at 153K, up 175%. Highest month since October of 2003. And this is why I think we'll probably cut rates regardless in December. I might be wrong, though. World free speech is spamming BYND. Okay, so let me get this straight. Look, I'm going to give you guys my thesis. So I hear world free speech talking about BYND, and that's all good, and that's all fine, and maybe you're in it, and you probably want it to go up, and that's okay. But let me tell you something about it, okay? Think about it like this. They've tried to sell this vegan meat at fast food restaurants. Imagine your consumer, somebody that's going to Burger King for lunch, right? Somebody's going to McDonald's for lunch. Imagine that. Now, with that thought in mind, imagine how many of them are going to buy vegan meat from Beyond Meat instead of a Whopper. I would imagine that percentage is incredibly low. I think they're just trying to get attention, mostly, by doing these deals with these companies. Because I don't think most of the people that actually shop at these companies, vegans are incredibly sensitive when it comes and strict when it comes to what they will eat. They're not going to get their meat from Burger King like that. They're not going to get their vegan meat from Burger King. They're just not going to. You know, that's like eating a donut sandwich and then throwing a piece of lettuce in the middle, right? It's just nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think Beyond Meat's big deals are going to come from fast food restaurants. I just don't think they are. I don't think people that shop at fast food restaurants are going to care about Beyond Meat burgers. You know, I just don't think they are. And again, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm missing something. If you think I am, let me know what it is, you know? Again, tell me where I'm wrong, please. I'm genuinely open to hearing it. If you've got a better argument for fast food Beyond Meat sales, let's hear it. You know, don't just tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why. You know, and I'll tell you this. People who do eat meat are not going to eat that stuff unless they're curious one time. Like, I ate it curiously at Disney World. It was Impossible Tacos, and they were pretty good. Never ordered again. This was like 7 years ago. And they were good too. Like, I liked the tacos. Never ate it again. you know. Yeah, Snapchat killed it yesterday, man. Flying up 870s. Honestly, I should have bought Snapchat. I really wanted to buy it. I think people, my guess with Beyond Meat is that people are stuck in it from the squeeze that it did, right? So you got a lot of people that are stuck in this thing, bag holding this thing from way up here, you know? And so they're going to put out all these theories and, you know, all these different, you know, signs of success for Beyond Meat. It's confirmation bias. You're more likely to believe things that you want to happen, and a bunch of people are stuck right now, and they're going to put out a bunch of, for lack of a better word, propaganda about Beyond Meat being some wildly successful company. To be honest, they've been saying this about Beyond Meat for like 10 years now. I'm just not a believer in it. I'm just not a believer in it. You know, I don't think there's enough customers that are actually interested in buying something like that. And they're definitely not going to do it at fast food restaurants or the Hard Rock Cafe. You know, the Hard Rock Cafe is not going to prop up Beyond Meat sales. You know, I think it's confirmation bias. Gallup's latest consumption habits poll finds 4% of Americans saying they're vegetarian and 1% vegan. Yeah. I'm not knocking you. If you got more discipline than me, if you're vegan, you know. HelloFresh on the recent Grizzly research article says we strongly disagree with interpretation of report on current status of governance and business prospects. So y'all disagree about the report slamming you guys? Okay, got it. Of course you do. I don't know anything about the company, just to clarify. HelloFresh. Sounds like a meal prep company, maybe. All right, let's do a poll here this morning, guys. Let's do a poll. All right, guys, what does the market do today? What's a good poll? Give me some options for the poll. Let's hear it. What's a good poll today, guys? Will Elon's pay package be approved? Vote of the poll. That's a good poll. I'm gonna do that one. All right, so somebody said look at the numbers. Okay, so here's Beyond Meat, just because somebody wants me to look at the numbers, right? So let's take a look at them. I glanced at them. What I see for Beyond Meat is since 2019, I would say maybe like 2020 is right here. I'd say their revenue has been trending down pretty substantially. I think if you look at their growth here on the bottom end of it, their growth is trending negatively as well. If you look at their trailing 12-month number, that is trending down since basically 2021. And so I think when you look at the numbers, you know, Anyways, NASDAQ's still pushing up. We're at 25,790 here. 25,790. Where's highs of the day? Yeah, these are highs of the day. So NASDAQ is slowly testing it. It's not really going up a lot, but it is kind of breaking highs. AMD, again, guys, trying to go green. A lot of stuff is pretty mixed today. Again, Shutdown is on day 37. Day 37. Yeah, it's all good, world free speech. Listen, you're allowed to like Beyond Meat here, and it's all good. It's all love. I mean, I disagree with you, but it's okay, you know? It's not like I'm shorting Beyond Meat. I hope you make money, bro. I hope it goes up for you. Again, gold at 4,018. Lululemon? Lululemon's kind of cheap where it's at now. I mean, let's just be honest here for a second. Lululemon, the problem is fading interest for Lululemon. Dude, I don't like Lululemon here. I'll put it this way. Lululemon can get away with charging $100 for a flimsy hat if they're at peak popularity. The problem I have with Lululemon is that they're no longer really at peak popularity. Younger generations don't wear them as much as the older ones. Not the older generations, but like millennials wear Lululemon a lot more than the younger generations. And as that goes on, they're going to wear it less and less potentially. And Lululemon is also trying to charge a deep premium for their stuff. Like, it's expensive. Question is, if they're not at peak popularity, will people continue to pay for this stuff? I don't know. And I think they've lost a lot of revenue. Down from 516s in 2024 down to $167 a share. Big percentage drops. Oh, he doesn't own any BYD. He's just giving out that sweet, sweet info. Yeah. And that's his right here, you know? As long as he's not a bot and he actually responds, then that's fine. You know? Which he's not. He's not a bot. What do you think about UPS? Struggling with margins. UPS is another stock that's been downtrending for years. Mostly because Amazon replaced half of their business with their own trucks. You know, this thing's been downtrending since 2021. Is the problem with UPS. That's a long-term downtrend. I'm not really trying to buy it there. It might go up and it might be cheap right here. Just like Lululemon might be cheap as well. I still don't really want to buy it, personally. Yeah, the news today is that the Challenger job cuts showed up this morning. And they showed up weaker since the weakest numbers for Challenger job cuts in a monthly perspective since 2003. Job cuts were the highest for months of October since 2003. They announced 153,000 plus job cuts in October, which is up 175%. Again, we can look at the SPY. I think the SPY and the S&P want 7,700 on the SPY. Bitcoin's still falling down. Bitcoin at 102s for Bitcoin futures right now. JP Morgan says retail investors to keep lifting stocks up. Retail inflow should continue to support equities into the year end, according to JP Morgan, citing sources and seasonal trends. The S&P has risen for 6 straight months and hit 36 record months, driven by AI and tech. They expect momentum for retail to continue to into 2026. Equity ETF drawing about 160 billion in inflows recently. You guys agree with JP Morgan? Looking at our poll, most people think Elon's going to get this pay package. Again, I think it's what? Isn't it $1 trillion? I don't mean to be negative. but I sense a nosedive today all over the markets. What do you think of Palantir now? I mean, I think Palantir still has a really high PE ratio. It's already up a ridiculous amount, but I also think it probably will grow substantially as a company in the future. It just might take a little time. Uber, a lot of cash flow in their earnings report announced. Down though. Maybe worth looking at. I'll have to look at the PE ratio for Uber, but when I put up a long-term chart, it's still kind of elevated. What comes after a trillion? A quadrillion. This is a quadrillion dollars. I definitely didn't use AI to look that up because I had no idea what came after a trillion. That's definitely not what happened, you know. All right, so again, we're at session highs here. Again, we're a little bit too elevated for me to want to buy it. I got to refresh this now. There we go. Okay. Again, U.S. employers, 153,000 plus challenger job cuts this morning. I think Palantir and Nvidia will make Michael Burry regret buying puts. I think they already have. Again, I said this yesterday, but again, if we just do the simple math, 45-day lag between filings for Scion Capital. Let's look at 45 days ago. Let's just start at 11 at the beginning of November. All right, if we go back 35 days. Actually, we could probably go back to like October 1st, even if we wanted to, right? Because that's about 40 days. We can go back to like October 25th or whatever that is, right around here. So Palantir was at 177 back at that point in time. So if it was a 45-day lag, he had to buy it somewhere around here. And here's Palantir. So, I mean, he's going to be underwater on those Palantir shorts if he shorted them 45 days ago. Same thing with Nvidia. We do the same thing with Nvidia. Nvidia is a little bit closer because it depends on where he bought it. If he bought it up here at 194s, he's still underwater, but he's less underwater in Nvidia. But let's say he bought it around here. This is where Nvidia is now. This is where Nvidia was. Like, so that's a big... Get your mind out the gutter, guys. That's a big difference here. That's a big difference. So I think there's a chance he's underwater. And if you look at his tweet the other day, tell me that tweet doesn't sound like somebody that had to cover a position. cover a losing position shorting microchips. Like, look. Let's take a look at old Cassandra Unchained Capital, whatever it's called. Here's Burry. He said, sometimes we see bubbles. Sometimes there's something to do about it. Sometimes the only winning move is to not play. Tell me the last sentence doesn't sound like somebody that had to cover a position, a losing position, shorting, what he considers a bubble. And then he also put his big short, this was October 30th, by the way, right? October 30th, he said this. Look at this sentence right here. October 30th, let's take a look at where everything was October 30th. October 30th, Nvidia was at the peak. October 30th is right here. Nvidia's at $210 a share. Tell me that doesn't sound like he got scared and covered it right here. Same thing with Palantir. Look, here's Palantir. October 30th. October 30th is right here. Palantir's at $200 a share. Burry did hold a big loss before it happened. I think the problem, though, the difference between Burry's shorts and the big short and his current shorts, it's just he's shorting different things. One of those things he's shorting is equities, which can grow into their valuations. Right? Equities certainly can grow into valuations. Palantir can certainly grow into its valuations. Nvidia can certainly grow into its valuations. And again, remember, the stock market is based off of mass psychology. And so it's not purely about health and earnings. It's based off of the perception of those things. And so my point here is Palantir and Nvidia can keep going up, especially if they start growing into their earnings. 2007, 2008, you would argue that the mortgage market was going to correct. It was inevitably going to correct, right? Nothing in equities is inevitable. You know, like nothing has to happen. We can go up, down, sideways. We can do all these different things based off of perception versus 2007, 2008 with mortgages, which is kind of like, okay, we know this isn't eventually going to happen. So I don't know. I think my point in this is that I think if he is, you know, if he's still in those Palantir and Nvidia shorts, it's a much riskier bet. Now, he might win big from it. It's a big risk, big reward thing. He might win big or he might lose big from it. So. Yeah, he's definitely got a larger net worth than me. I'm not hating on Michael Burry. I actually like Michael Burry. I'm speculating here. Yeah, 153,000 job cuts here. 153K. It is the War Games quote. Great movie, by the way. As a nerd in the 90s, I liked it. You know, I liked Hackers too, to be honest. Cheesy, but great. You know, you gotta love it. Oh wait, Michael Burry has been tweeting a little bit more. Let's take a look at some of the other Michael Burry's tweets here. This is where he's saying the tech bubble is here. US tech capex growth is matching the tech bubble of 99 and 2000. He's not honestly wrong here. And so just to go the other way, look at these graphs. They're very similar. What he's inferring is, I think he's talking about, let me see, here's the 2000 drop. 2000 is right here, the correction. Do you guys think Michael Burry's right? I'm going to do another poll here. We did the poll about Elon's pay package. Let's do another one. Is Michael Burry correct about an incoming recession slash, not even a recession, I would say about an incoming market correction? And then he also put out something that said, by 2002, it was commonly reported that less than 5% of US telecom's capacity was in use. Thousands of miles of expensive fiber optic network remains unlit beneath the ground. Wholesale telecom prices fell by more than 70% in year 2001 and 02. Many of the companies which not long before had been valued at huge premiums to their invested capital now sought protection from creditors. It does sound similar to what we're in now. Yeah, we don't know what it's going to be, though. Again, I always go back to Alan Greenspan's irrational exuberance speech was in 1997. We didn't really burst until 3.5 years later. So we might be in a bubble, and, you know, it still might be early. We might have years left. Yeah, I mean, I know Michael Burry did short the S&P. Nasdaq's so flat right now. I know Michael Burry did short the S&P in 2003. I remember when he shorted it, and I actually disagreed with that short. You know, and I honestly, it's not that I made fun of Burry, but like, I'll give you guys a rundown of what happened there. Michael Burry, after the Fed decision, Michael Burry basically put out a really cryptic tweet, and he said, "Sell." I believe was the only word in that tweet was sell, right? Then the market ended up having one of the biggest bull runs and, you know, following it with the AI boom. And then he deactivated his Twitter and you didn't really hear from him again for a while, you know? And so my point is, you know, he overpredicts crashes. Sure. As long as he's calculated with it, maybe, you know, you keep throwing darts at a dartboard. Eventually you're going to hit a correction. And maybe this is the one that, you know, look at the Nasdaq here. We're so flat, though, at this point in time. We're not really moving at all.
This is the end of side 1 of this record. Please now, turn it over for the second side. This is the second side.
Dot clock right twice a day. Top 3 bear of all time. Definitely top 3. Yeah, I mean, I see Joby here. Good trend on the year. Up a lot already. Quantum stocks, if we look at like QBTS here, or a lot of them still pulling back. Rigetti. A lot of them still on a dip. Is it time to buy Quantum, chat? AMD all the way back up to 250s. So AMD regained all the drops it did from earnings, and now it's back up as well. Any stocks you guys want me to take a look at that look like worth buying the dip here? I'll buy a dip in stocks. Just let me know which ones look good. Yeah, Robinhood is up a lot. Meta, Palantir. Is Meta worth buying the dip right now, chat? Let me know. Let's put yes or no in chat. Is Meta worth buying the dip? I don't know, man. It's at 640s. Got down to 617s here. I kind of want to buy it again. All right, I'm going to buy a small piece of Meta. Just a small piece because I'm stubborn. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy a small piece. But I'm going to wait and see if we dip a little bit today, actually. Oracle. Oracle at 250s. You know, as long as we don't burst microchip bubble. Microsoft down to almost $500 a share. Novo's had some bad news though recently, man. I'm not gonna buy it just because it's a pharmaceutical company with bad news coming out recently. I'm not buying this. too sketchy right now, in my opinion. I'm not going to touch that right now. Might be cheap, might go up. I don't know. It's just not worth the risk for me. In phase, I don't like the sector either. Same thing. This thing's been downtrending for a long time. I'm not really interested in buying. It's been downtrending since 2023 with solar sector as a whole. Maybe it goes up. Maybe it's cheap. Maybe there's some arguments to buy in it. Again, I'm just not really going to buy it though. All right, guys. MicroStrategy. Yeah, I mean, you could buy MicroStrategy. You could buy the dip in Bitcoin. See if it holds 100,000. CoreWeave. Yeah, CoreWeave announced another deal with another company this morning. They're up about 117s. They look interesting. Pinterest. They're down a lot. Down a lot. What's their margins like though for Pinterest? I mean, their growth is increasing, but they're still struggling to like, I mean, this is good. This is better than it was, but it's still not like 6 cents, 1 cent a share. They're basically a break-even company right now. They had a couple good quarters, but I don't know. It's not good enough for me right now, personally, for Pinterest. It's down a lot though. Maybe it's worth looking at. I don't know. Super Micro. Pretty volatile here. Also kind of sideways, but it could go up big. Not an investment professional. Doesn't AMC have earnings today? Yeah, GameStop, $22 a share. It's basically been flat. Lost a lot of hype. Lost a lot of attention too. Isn't the president supposed to speak at 11 o'clock Eastern time today? Some people were speculating he was going to announce the end of the shutdown, but I don't know. Yeah, so the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the Department of Transportation said that they're going to have to meaningfully reduce their schedules during the government shutdown. Goal is to relieve pressure on the national aviation system to keep us operating safely, they said. They said these are going to start on Friday this week, continue make rolling updates to our schedule. They'll notify you in advance if your flight is impacted. Very choppy though in markets here, very choppy. Yeah, GameStop has been in the same range for a long time. I'm not really messing with that either. Airbnb. I don't dislike Airbnb as a company, but it doesn't really trend nice either, you know? Like, Airbnb's been flat since 2022. I mean, I don't dislike it as a company. I think it makes sense. I think it'll probably grow. I think people are going to continue to rent houses and places like this to stay versus hotels. But it's been sideways for, 3 years now. And so, I'm kind of strict when it comes to what I'll buy. Meta's looking the most interesting, but I'd like it to dip back down to 630s, maybe at the open, and then I'll buy it. I think is what I'm looking at. Looking at our poll here, we asked people, is Michael Burry correct about an incoming market correction? 60% of people think yes. 40% of people think no. 11 a.m. news is on weight loss. Yeah, I can see that. Again, government shutdown is on its 37th day. It's 37th day. And you know why I don't like politics? I'm going to rant about politics for a second. Both sides play the blame game so much. On both sides. This is not just one side exaggerating things. Both sides are exaggerating things to the max. Right? It's not one side. It's both sides. They're exaggerating things to the max. It gets to a point where nothing either one of them says is true. That's why I hate politics. It's because they both are so hell-bent on making the other side look bad that everything both sides says is like some type of exaggeration or embellishment, right? And so it gets to a point where both of them are lying. Both of them are exaggerating and embellishing things and blaming the other one. They're saying, you know, it sounds like freaking children. You did it. Nuh-uh. You did it. Like, get out of here, bro. Y'all just resume the government, man. Ridiculous. I hate politics. I could never be a politician. I would hate it so much. I'd be the top 3 greatest one ever, though, but I'd hate it. Nvidia down to 197.60s here. Bitcoin at 103s. Gold still over 4,000, though. It was under 4,000 yesterday. Nobody's pumping penny. I mean, you might have a couple people pumping penny stocks, but that's pretty standard. They're listing stocks because I asked them to. I asked them to call out stocks you want me to look at, so they're just throwing stock names out there, symbols. Most of them are not bots. Jobless claims is not going to be released today. It's done by the BLS, and BLS is shut down right now. We're day 37 of the government shutdown. Or no, it's done by the Department of Labor. My bad. Again, it's not coming out. Last one we got was September 25th. The good old days, guys. The good old days. What's up, Tiny? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing good. Bitcoin back up a little bit. Here's gold. Gold at 4,020 right now. 4,020. Again, we got U.S. Trade Representative Greer says the president never purported to have unlimited tariff authority, end quote. He said justices had fair, tough questions at tariff argument. Again, Google's rolling out its most powerful AI chip, looking at NVIDIA with custom silicone, according to CNBC. What are the odds for a December rate cut? I don't think I looked at this yet this morning here. So far, yesterday it was like 70% on average. It's actually decreased a little bit. It's now at 67.5%. 32.5%. Again, we're at 67.5%. 32.5%. Yeah, wait, isn't when's Netflix's split? What's the date for Netflix's split? November 17th. So it's about 11 days away. Target? I think I'm in Target. Yeah, I'm in Target right now. I'm green on Target. Yeah, November 17th. Again, I'm surprised at how many people think Michael Burry's right about an incoming correction. And what does that generally mean? Sometimes when everybody thinks we're going to correct, we don't. You know, hundreds of votes, 56% of you think, yes, Michael Burry is correct about an incoming correction here. Is this true? Yeah, Robinhood flying up from earnings. That's one of the big stories. Doubled revenue, right? They're getting into the prediction markets as well. They're at 143s right now. They're slightly green. They're not super green. Everybody's like, oh, they did great. And their earnings were good. But again, they're basically flat. Here's the previous closing price for Robinhood right now. So Robinhood's mostly flat today. We will definitely have a strong correction, but in a few years, yeah, maybe. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet. Everything we do here is free. I don't even claim to be a good trader. That's not really what I'm about. I don't sell a course, don't sell my own service, don't even claim to be good. Give everything away for free. When the government resumes, we'll be the #1 source for economic reports. So hit the subscribe button. Do it now. You know you want to. We'll see what we get today. He's a chill guy in a chill house. I'm chill da ba dee ba da ba die, or whatever that song says. Is that what you're going with? Honestly, I said I have a chill dog. My dog's the top 3 least chill dog ever. Stranger shows up over here. You know. Top 3 least chill dog in the world. Hey, buddy. Hey, Jack. Would you describe Rosie as one of the top 3 most chill dogs ever? No? Yeah, that's true. Stranger shows up over here. Love you, bro. Have a good day, dude. Nvidia at 198. Let's see if Nvidia can get back over 200. He knows. He knows. Which one is worse, Rosie or Bruce? Bruce is definitely worse. I just don't have an emoji for Bruce, but Bruce is definitely worse. All right, NASDAQ just broke highs of the day again. Let's draw some levels now. Here's 800s, 25.8. That's the level I'm watching here. The whole AI bubble is contingent on OpenAI success. Yeah, no, 100%. And honestly, look, I'm not alleged. This is my subjective opinion. I might be wrong. I don't really like ChatGPT as much. It's not really accurate at all. Kind of like, it's just not the most accurate thing. You know? Again, subjective opinion. I love you. Sorry. I love it. Whimsical. That's what I needed. Right. Razzle dazzle. That's what we needed. Yeah. Every day my daughter leaves me a note to remind me to wake her up when I get up. Just to help you understand the context of that conversation. OpenAI loses so much money. Yeah, no, they don't even have the money that they're investing in some of these companies. You know, but again, the money they're investing is based off of future earnings, which I guess I understand. But the question is, does it hold? I don't know. AI has become eyebrow-raisingly more accurate. Oh, no, it's definitely better than it was 2 years ago everywhere. And again, I think, I always tell people this too, but AI has grown exponentially in 2 to 3 years. So much better than it was, especially video generation. So much better than it was, right? And if you extrapolate that over 20 years, That's some pretty powerful growth that we're going to see. We're not there yet. Eventually, they will earn money, and the AI systems will earn money through data. 100%. That's what they're going to do. They're gonna build themselves up on data, just like search engines do, and that's fine. But I think that's the obvious next step here is they're gonna monetize the data. That's probably why ChatGPT is getting rid of health advice, because that violates HIPAA to a certain extent, and it makes it easier for them to pull the data, is my guess, right? This is just, I'm guessing here. So. I like some less volatile AI quantum plays with earnings such as Dell, Cisco, IBM, more conservative. Yeah, no. We'll see what happens. I think OpenAI's IPO is going to be interesting. What OpenAI is going to look like when it IPOs is interesting, and we'll have to wait and see for that. But they're going to be going public soon. Microsoft's probably going to be affected. It owns, what, 30%, 30-something% of them. All right, so consumer sentiment is at crisis levels, according to I don't know who this is from. It says U.S. consumer sentiment at crisis levels. Americans' perception of the economy has fallen below the low seen during 2008. Right, there's no source here. U.S. Trade Rep Greer says the U.S. will be able to reshore and nearshore rare earth process. Again, jobless claims is delayed today. Third quarter prelim productivity delayed as well. Home sellers now outnumber home buyers by over 500,000, the largest gap ever recorded. See, look, where do we go? We go 25.8 right here. Let's see if we hold, though. NASDAQ's breaking highs and pulling back. If we get down to 760s, I'll buy this dip here and try to trade the trend. Too much handshaking with OpenAI. It's definitely always telling you your bias. All right, it's almost 8:30. Greer says the U.S. can pull many levers with China, but we want stability. Again, rate cut odds are down to 67%. Still likely that we're going to cut rates, but they could always change. Oh, I don't know what happened. I must have touched the mic accidentally here. My bad. But yeah, Embassy 21, person. Data's delayed. We don't have any economic data because data is delayed. It's government shut down right now. Yeah, I got it. I fixed it. Also, world free speech, you're probably delayed. It sounds like you're way back to the Netflix split conversation. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed and hit the live button. You'll catch up. All right, look at this green pop. We're now over 25.8s here, over 25.8s. I will start shorting some of this. If we can get a move here. All right, I'm going to short this. It's a risky bet, but it's small. Tiny. We'll try to add to it if we go green. Keep it small. Start small, add to it if we go green. We don't have any data today at 8:30. Yeah, Drop, you sound delayed as well. AMD is about to drop, is it really? Yeah, I get into these trades with like one tiny contract. Again, so the president said he's going to announce a deal to lower weight loss drug prices in some cases, according to CBS. That's what's going on. But I can take a small short here. If it doesn't work, I can just cover it small. If it does work, I can add to it. And I think that's a good strategy for a lot of people, but I might cover this quickly here. The range is still pretty small on the day, but I'll give it one more second. We'll let it go to 8:05 and see if it holds there. Greer said U.S. held a meeting with Swiss officials this week as well. Yeah, we're going to just cover it. Small position. Oh, here, John, tell them they're delayed once the stream is over. Yeah, maybe. So, John, Mr. Real Estate, do you think house prices are going to get more expensive from here because demand increases? I don't know. I think the real estate market is kind of sketchy right now. I think long term it won't matter. Short term, we don't know what the heck it's going to do. You know, I think if we're seeing right now, it's a buyer's market for sure. So many sellers, less buyers. And so I think buyers, you know, I think the smart move is to, like when I bought a rental property over the last few years, one of the things I did was I paid cash for it and I put out a bunch of low ball offers, like very low. And most of them got rejected, but eventually, you know, people accepted the low ball offers I was giving them. And, you know, because it was a cash deal, it was more enticing. And so I could get prices. I can get low prices, way under valuations. And so even if we do correct, I'll still be pretty freaking safe. But, and I think if home prices continue to stagnate, or not even home prices, but if we continue to see a lot more sellers than buyers, you know, that dynamic will continue. But it also depends on when interest rates start going down, mortgage rates specifically, you know, a little bit more nuanced than like other rates. You know, like the federal funds rate directly influences home equity loans. It's the rate that's getting influenced in adjustable rate mortgages and stuff like that. And so, but mortgages are long-term mortgages are a little bit different, a little bit more nuanced. When those go down, you know, we could see a big increase in people buying houses, and that might make home prices go up. Or a lot of people argue that people are already locked in on higher interest rate loans, and so when interest rates start to drop, they can refinance more safely. Because right now, if they're in 3%, it doesn't make any sense to move because they got such a low interest rate, and if they move and buy a different house with a new mortgage or refinance or whatever, their interest rates are going to spike, and they don't want that. And so when rates go down, it unlocks more people to be able to move that want to move. And you know, I don't know if that dynamic's going to happen either. I think we just got to wait and see. All right, NASDAQ consistently breaking all-time highs, or not all-time highs, highs of the day. SPY moving up. You can see the SPY right here. Again, gold heading up to 4,028 here for gold. Yeah, we got an announcement with the president today. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern. Greer says Swiss opened a pharma, aircraft, gold, and manufacturing in the U.S. But apparently the president's speech at 11 is going to be a again, he says he's going to announce a deal to lower weight loss drug prices in some cases on CBS. According to CBS, I mean. What are the odds for the shutdown? I think they've gone up a little bit. Again, Challenger job cuts came in at what this morning? A lot. They came in at... Again, one of the biggest stories, I think, today, Challenger job cuts today showed up at 153,000 plus job cuts. This was the largest spike in job cuts for October since 2003, I think. 2003. So, not good for the economy. Higher job cuts for sure. Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, guys, I don't know what to do here. I don't necessarily want to buy it at highs. I'd need a pullback to buy it, so I think I'm just gonna wait here, chat, and be smart and wait. Again, job cut showed up high. Again, we had Robinhood earnings, and Robinhood did great yesterday. But, are you guys long or short here? Where we're at now in the NASDAQ. Are y'all long or short? It did great and dropped. Yeah. Job cuts is based off announcement, not data, since the government is closed. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Still long? All right, we're here testing highs of the day again at 811.75s right now. Still push it up, just tapped highs, pulling back quickly here though. So we didn't quite go anywhere from this, but we tapped the highs of the day. Look at this push, 820s almost for the NASDAQ here. Again, look at the SPY rip up. Apple is going up right now. Look at Apple. Apple up to 270.30s right now, 270.30s. So. See what you guys said. Short, long, neither, long, dude, long, long, long. Waiting on a retest of 800 to go long. Buying Snapchat dips. Yeah, Snapchat had earnings yesterday, and they did really well also here. Look at Snapchat, 873s as we speak, 880s, up a lot. Palantir will fall under 170. Is PLTR a buy or sell right now? All right, so according to Revelio Labs, total non-farm employment data for October showed negative 9.1 thousand month over month. So look at this data here that just came out. Chicago Fed estimates unemployment rate at 4.36%, 4.36% as well. Why does the Revio Labs comment not coming out here? I posted it. Here, let me do it again. There we go. Look at these two data releases coming out. Hood pushing up a little bit, technically green on the day now, which is good. All right, guys. See what Robinhood does. Again, Chicago Fed estimates 4.36 unemployment. Let's see if there's any other breaking news right now. New York Fed accepted all 1 million bid at overnight repurchase. Again, 4.36 from 4.35 in September is the unemployment rate increase, I think. Michael Saylor posted, Bitcoin is on sale. Again, at 11 o'clock, the president's supposed to announce a deal to lower the cost of certain weight loss drugs, according to CBS. The agreement with Eli Lilly and Novo here would reduce prices for some of these medications to about $149 a month in specific cases, though they didn't really go deep into the details. They said Eli Lilly is in talks with the admin to improve access and affordability, but shared no specifics. Novo didn't comment at all on it. Nvidia dipping down still. $200 is pretty close for Nvidia right here. So $200 is very close. Let's see if it actually holds. All right, so we're still pushing up to test highs here. Just broke highs again, got up to 820s right now, 820s. And again, I think some of this is from Apple here, but Apple's dipping down as well. We have Meta. I'm still looking for a dip buy in Meta if we can get it. Gold bouncing at the 200 exponential. Google's ripping up right now. This is Google. They announced a new chip this morning. I saw that. Look at the NASDAQ break highs again. Again, Google up to over 290s right now. Could have bought it. Maybe I should have. Felt like freestyling. Amazon, Microsoft, Apple moving up. Google. Yeah, I think it's Google. Google did announce some news earlier today on again, Revio Last says US lost 9.1 thousand non-farm jobs in October. Again, ADP data had a September or October show up at what, 42,000 yesterday. So we did have ADP data yesterday. Should have been about 42,000. We also had some Google news. Let me look. I did see the Google news earlier. Google rolling out its most powerful AI chip, Ironwood, widely available in the coming weeks, according to CNBC. Ironwood, our 7th generation TPU, will be generally available in the coming weeks, according to their website. And so this might be what's helping the market like pop this morning. Is this news for Google? Google's definitely moving up a little bit. Top 3 morning stream, hands down. Thank you, Sorrel. Appreciate it, brother. Snow is a short candidate today. Dude, I haven't heard about Snow recently, man. Snow is up, though. It's at 275. I'm not going to short it. But I haven't heard as much from Snowflake recently. Fed's Goolsbee says most labor market indicators show stability in the market via CNBC. So Goolsbee, one of the Fed members, is speaking right now. He said, again, labor markets, market indicators show stability in the market, according to CNBC. Again, are you guys bullish or bearish for the opening bell? We asked people earlier, is Michael Burry correct about an incoming market correction? 52% said yes. Majority said yes on that poll. Is 25.8 worth buying here? This is kind of a fast drop, though, in markets. Also, Warner Bros. Discovery says we have good visibility towards both revenue and scaling subscribers on HBO Max. 2026 should be the biggest year of growth that they have seen in a long time on HBO Max. Again, unemployment rate showed 4.36% according to U.S. Chicago Fed estimates. Yeah, I kind of need a larger pullback. I don't think 25.8. I think we might bounce at 25.8, but I don't know if it's reliable enough to bet on here. Here's 25.8 support level. Again, I just don't know if it's reliable enough to bet on this. What do you guys think? Also, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel? No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. Most day traders lose money. And so if you fund your own account thousands of dollars, honestly, it makes no sense to do so in the beginning. Most day traders are going to lose their first couple accounts. $50 for the base one on Top Step. You pass it, you get a 50K funded account. You fail it, you lose $50. It's not the end of the world. Perfect way to learn with some risk. No PDT rule in futures. Very similar to day trading equities in terms of patterns, because you can day trade with no PDT rule. They pay out millions, some of the most reliable for payouts in the game, and you can research this. Incredibly useful. They have their back to funding option and more. It just makes sense to learn day trading this way. It does. I lost thousands, but again, they pay me money. I'm biased. Genuinely useful for traders, though. Genuinely useful for traders. But yeah, learn without the burn. I'll put the link up. Not an investment professional. Don't copy me. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Great way to help support the channel. But yeah, let's see if we bounce at 25.8s here. Subbing to HBO for the It series. I like Game of Thrones. I'm a Game of Thrones person. So I have HBO Max just for Game of Thrones, basically. A retest of 800, waiting. Okay. Again, Robinhood, one of the big stories of the day here, up to 143s. Yeah, I thought they got a little bit greedy with season 2 of House of Dragon. A little greedy with it, bro. They should have given us something instead of leaving it on a cliffhanger. I'm just mad about it. Still, bad decision on their part. But they tried to learn from their mistakes in, season 8 of Game of Thrones. And so they tried to slow it down, but they slowed it down too much now. So. All right, so we did bounce right around 25.8. Again, it's too small of a pullback to have any meat on the move. Maybe we keep bouncing up, but I'm just not confident enough in it. All right, so Goolsby says maybe reluctant to continue rate cutting cycle on CNBC. He says recession starts are usually not low hiring and low firing. Low hiring and low firing is a character of an uncertain environment. He said there's very little private sector information about inflation. It will be some time before we see any problems. And again, he said I might be reluctant to continue the rate cycle. I still think there is mild cooling in the labor market. There's a lot of stability, he says. Again, we also had U.S. household debt surge 197% in quarter three to a record 18.59 trillion. It puts household debt up 642 billion over the last year. Mortgage debt mostly is the cause of this. It rose almost 140 billion to a record 13 trillion. Credit card debt also went up 24 billion to 1.23 trillion, which is at an all-time high as well. Yeah, I watched the first season of Westworld and never really got into it after that. The second season, I don't know, I just didn't get into it. Next year, auto changes. All right, we're back down to 25.8s here. I've been slow trading today because the market's mostly been flat. Although we did get a nice little move up. All right, so Goolsby still speaking. He said, I am more uneasy about rate cuts without inflation data. Consumer spending and growth is strong. Will we get a rate cut in December? All right, back down to 25.8s. Let's see if I'm right about this. They're at 25.8s. Again, even if it does bounce, there's not enough meat there, I think, to really be happy with that position. Nvidia should pull back more than pop. If Goolsby keeps speaking here. Goolsby said more uneasy about rate cuts without inflation data. Let's take a look at yields to see if they're moving. I don't think they're going to move much on Goolsby's quotes. They're actually down a little bit today. You know? They are decreasing a little bit on Goolsby's quotes. Yield's still down. Rate cut odds are basically flat where they were yesterday. Yeah, rate cut in December more than likely, so people will be enticed to rack up credit cards. I think it depends on the stance of the government shutdown. The state of the government shutdown, I should say. I think it depends on that. I think if the government shutdown continues, which I hope it doesn't, obviously. But I think if it continues, then we're kind of... It's looking more likely that... I think if it continues, we're still probably going to cut. But it's definitely not a sure thing, you know? And I think we heard Jerome Powell say something like, you know, something similar in the last Fed meeting. And so I think if the government shutdown continues, we're not really going to have any data to change it. I think if the government resumes and we get a bunch of high inflation data, then it's even less likely we're going to cut. But you know, that's a big if, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We'll resume before then. It just depends on like how accurate the data is going to be when we do resume is the big thing, right? Because when the government resumes, they haven't been surveying a lot of the surveys they need. So that'll be a problem in regards to accuracy of the data once the government resumes, and you know, we'll see what happens. Goolsby says, I am not hawkish on rates in the medium term. All right, well, that's good. That CR only covers up to November 21st. Yeah, but I think they're not gonna use that date for it. Like they're gonna extend that date is what they're trying to do. Again, I'm not sure if we're ever gonna like. I hope we get a resumption. But if you look at the odds, most people think we're gonna resume. At least the last time I looked, and this could certainly have changed. Yeah, so we still have a majority of people thinking that we're going to resume before the 15th, which is the next big deadline. Like, if you look at it, military pay deadline is on the 15th. I have a hard time believing that politicians on both sides are going to let military members go without pay during the holiday season. I have a hard time believing that. Right? And again, it's both sides at this point in time. I think hopefully they work to get a deal done. We've heard rumblings about some centrist members talking behind closed doors to end the shutdown. Yeah, I've heard speculation. Yeah, I mean, Powell said, not this last meeting, but the meeting before, that a rate cut in November wasn't guaranteed, and then we cut rates last week. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't put too much weight on what he said, but yeah. All right, we're under 25.8s here. We got this level, which was kind of the highs for a while. Like right around 90 maybe here. But the edge up has been pretty slow too. So I'd rather buy like 7.5 right here. 7.5 looks good enough for me right here. If we can get down here, I'll buy this. I like this level better. It's right around the 200 exponential short term as well. So see if we can get down there. Goolsby says, for data to go right at the moment, we saw services inflation rising. Yeah, yesterday we had ADP non-farm employment show up at 42,000 jobs gained. Stronger than expected, stronger than what people were thinking we were going to get. We also had ISM services show up stronger than expected for the services sector. So we saw some strength yesterday. But then this morning, we've also had like private reporters, like private companies report some numbers. And again, some of those companies said, Revio Labs specifically said total non-farm employment data for October showed negative 9.1 thousand jobs, negative 9.1 thousand. We also had Chicago Fed estimates show unemployment rate upticking 0.1% to 0.436%, or 0.01% to 4.36%. So Goolsby said, I learned more to when it's foggy. Let's be careful and slow down. I learned more to, yeah, when it's foggy, let's be careful and move and slow down. He said the settling point for rates will be a fair bit below where it is today. I am not hawkish on rates in the medium term. Yeah, NASDAQ going down to 90s here. I'm still looking at this level. It might be worth a dip. I'd like 75 a little bit better, though. All right, we're going to buy this right here. 3 contracts. We haven't been trading a ton. Couple previous highs. There we go. Nice little move up. There we go. I'll take one off there just to protect the trade. And then we'll let the rest try to hold and break even. I'd love 800 up there if we can get it. But, there we go. Take another piece off up there at the top. Let the rest ride. I'll get out right there. That's close enough. Close enough. We made a good bid from that. We basically got the range we wanted, which was right here. You know, I want to sell before we get to here and reject, potentially back down. So it might continue higher, but caught it where we wanted it to. The 790 level made sense. We drew that maybe a minute or two ago. And, yeah. And look at that rejection right at 25.8 like we thought it would. Even if it doesn't continue, it confirms the level. Makes sense. We'll leave the level on our chart. An AMD. 255s here. All right, so Tapestry CEO Kate Spade says sales will be impacted during the holiday as company reduces discounting. Is that a fancy way of saying they're raising prices? You know? $75 ideas better. Yeah, I mean, 75 will be a longer term trade if we take it here. But again, sometimes I like attacking my levels through small ranges between them. So this little $10 range I think made sense. And you can see we rejected up here. I sold like here because I didn't want to catch this rejection back down, and now we're rejecting back down. So confirm my exit. One's 790, the other one's 800. It's just a small range. Robinhood is considering adopting a Bitcoin treasury strategy, according to the Robinhood treasurer. Good move. Y'all think the new Predator movie is going to be good, man? I want it to be good. I liked it with the guy where they dropped everybody on the planet, all the different groups of people on the planet, and they had to figure it out. It was a couple Predator movies ago. It was good. I can't remember what the name was. Then they had a really bad one after that. Really cheap one. Alright, we're dropping down. We're at 792. Yeah, Adrian Brody, that one. I like that one. That one was good. You play where you find success. Yeah, no, I just try to attack the levels. Like, I draw. I think you can get some good bounces. Look at that. We exited right at the top, and now we're continuing coming down here. Let's see if there's any news. U.S. layoffs in October surged to the highest level since 2003. We already talked about this. Challenger job cuts. Super high number for Challenger job cuts. Look at this dip here, though. We're dipping kind of quick. I do want to buy 75. Let's see if we get it or not. Yeah, Predators. Yeah, that one was good. I don't think I saw the original Running Man, to be honest. I don't know about the new one. All right, we're almost down to the level I said I would buy it here. I almost want to start small, but I'll let it dip a little bit more. I want 75s here. I'll take one. It's definitely too early. We'll see if we can add a little bit more. The range is small enough to justify it, though. We'll add a little bit more. 2, 3. We'll add 4 here. There's 4. This looks like a catalyst-driven drop, though, to be honest. All right, a little bit of retracement back up. I'm going to reduce... I was going to reduce my size. We're green on the day, luckily, in this already. I'm gonna take one off here and just reduce my size. Give it a little bit more time now. Things look like they want to be green here, but I don't know if I trust this drop. Again, it's a little bit longer term, so my risk level is going to be about 65. Give or take, about 65. Just took a piece off too, just to limit my risk. We'll add back if it confirms the direction we want. You'll see me do this anytime like I'm really green, or I'm really like when I get in and it goes completely against me, I'll reduce the size the closer we get to break even, just for risk management reasons. That way if it does break down and continue, it's half size. So it's not the end of the world now. Still gonna stick to my 65 risk, which we're right at now. Gotta cut it. Oh well. It started to turn here. We might have some support at like 50, but we'll trade small now. Figure it out. Market's kind of undecided here. Apple started to break down too. I don't see any news causing this drop, to be honest. I think we just started breaking down here. Federal Aviation Administration working to hammer out details of flight cuts set to start tomorrow and Friday, according to a bunch of different sources. But I don't see any news causing this drop. I think it's just momentum showing up. I might jump back in, but watching 750 below us now. 750 might be a level here. We also have this level here at 62, so. Hood reported good numbers. Yeah, 2x revenue. I saw the 2x revenue news. And they're kind of flat from their earnings, believe it or not. Like, they didn't end up doing as well as a lot of people wanted them to do. But they might run. Sometimes you get delayed reactions to earnings. So maybe at the bell, we'll see Robinhood run. I'll watch it. We did get into another trade. Let me show you. We ended up buying the dip again, but Since we're right at the 200 exponential, we'll cover it. I don't know if I like it though. I mean, we got to get back over 775, and that level just rejected it. So we took some profit though. We're back to mostly flat on this one on the day. Just depends on whether it keeps pushing up and gets over that 200 EMA, which is kind of doing now. Gold back down to 4,018s here. Yeah, Robinhood might run at the opening bell. It's possible, you know. I'll try to go back in double size here, 2 contracts, keeping it small though. See if it holds. Maybe add a little bit more. See if we get back over that 200 EMA. I go back and forth now. I want to let it test the bottom though, but if it starts to really flush, we'll cover. $750 might be a level 2. So yeah, a lot of this news that I'm showing is kind of QBTS reports. Apple into the 8 daily. Seems like a good setup, maybe. If it dips, I'll just buy more. Latest on the government shutdown is that it's not really, we don't really have a date on it ending. Yeah, I'll cover this again. We made a little bit of money from the trade, but not enough to make me happy enough. I'll look for 750s maybe. Look at this drop in the NASDAQ here. Under 750s too. See if there's a reason. I don't really see anything that's dropping markets like this. I think the market's just getting pushed down. Could be microchips correcting Nvidia back down to 196 here. That's a big drops coming through the markets, guys. Look at this. AMD starting to look weak. Nvidia is what's driving this too. Nvidia down to 196 here. We do have some pullbacks in like Google and some other stuff here too. Look at the red show up in markets now, guys. Wow. Hitting 170, 25 right now. Gold popping back up as we speak. It's not holding markets right now here, chat. Red showing up this morning, though. Amazon announced next-gen Alexa custom assistant will power BMW's in-car voice assistant. Let's see when the red stops, though. U.S. announces change in reciprocal tariff rates with China after their agreement, according to the Federal Register. It also said the government... oh, no, that was the Italian guy. Again, but the U.S. is announcing changes in reciprocal tariff rates with China after an agreement, according to the Federal Register. All right, so we stopped at 725. Nvidia's looking a little bit stronger. So is Google here. But Nasdaq's still looking pretty weak here. Still dropping down under 725s now. Yeah, I see Google dropping, Amazon dropping, Apple dropping, TSM dropping over the last 20 minutes or so. Look at Nvidia coming all the way back down too. The big pullback in markets just not holding at all. President said 2025 Thanksgiving dinner under the president is 25% lower than 24 under the previous one. According to Walmart, my costs are lower than the left on everything, especially oil and gas. So the left's affordability issue. Let me see. He must be tweeting here. Let me check a look at these. Stop lying, he says. What a drop here in the Nasdaq, though. Everything's falling quick. Hasn't stopped yet here, guys. Let's watch 85s. I want to show you guys some of these stocks that are falling right now. TSM, Nvidia. Can y'all see this one on the right? Like, look. So here's gold. Put it different. Here's gold. Apple. Apple's dipping down to 269s here on the bottom. Look at Apple fall too. So Apple's dipping down fast. Meta dipping down fast, giving back all the gains it made. Microsoft dipping down too at 505s right now. I almost bought Meta too. Maybe I should have. Meta's down to 505 again, or Microsoft down to 505. Nvidia is what's dipping here. It's almost at 196 right now for Nvidia. So Nvidia is what's fading. Look, just to show you guys what's causing some of these drops. Again, look. Yeah, so I saw Nancy's not going to be back. I saw that. I'm surprised people still go to Denny's. My daughter refuses to eat Denny's. Yeah, I saw the changes in reciprocal tariff rates with China after their agreement. Could be dropping the market, but I don't see anything else. Honestly, it's pretty quiet on the box. I saw the reciprocal tariff changes, but unless Nancy retiring from Congress is causing the market to go down, couldn't imagine it is. But Waffle House is just better than Denny's. Listen, I'm a Waffle House guy. Waffle House better than Denny's. You know, way better. Could be tariff discussions. I don't really see anything. Again, I don't see any news. I think markets. I think microchips are just getting scared off a little bit. Yeah, I don't really see any explanation for the tariff. It was all via filing. Too many ads on Truth, bro. You can't look at anything without seeing 5 ads, bro, per post, dude. Come on now. I think Jensen is the one behind this acquired deal on Dennis. Yeah, the ads are terrible there. I don't know, like, I mean, I don't use it anyway, to be honest, but still. Microsoft AI forms a super intelligence team. Watch Microsoft, see if it pops up some. Yeah, I don't know if this is a market crash yet, but it's definitely a bearish move today. It's not a crash, though. I'm checking the news. I don't see anything, really. Nick Timmerow said overnight borrowing rates have settled out a more normal level following the month-end pressures last week. Repo facility uses was NIL for the second straight day, and repo rates are now back in the same range that the Fed set for its benchmark funding rate. Again, what's the changes that we announced here? The executive order extends suspensions of heightened reciprocal tariffs, keeping the additional 10% duty on most Chinese imports until November 10th. This aligns with the U.S.-China Kuala Lumpur joint arrangement under which China suspends tariffs on major U.S. agricultural through December 26th and prolongs market-based exclusions for U.S. goods. Compliance by both sides is required to maintain these terms. So those are the changes. IHOP, All right, I'll eat there. I'd rather IHOP than no breakfast pancakes or breakfast food, but it's not as good as Waffle House. It's just not. You know. Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin right at 100,000. We talked about 100K being a milestone level, and that's exactly where we stopped here. 100K. Now the question is, do we continue to hold over 100,000? Do we continue here? And I don't know. What do you guys think? Does Bitcoin bounce at 100K and go back up to highs, or do we continue down? Let me know in chat. Without a hangover, I would argue Waffle House is after the club. You know, after the bar is Waffle House. You know? You shouldn't really have a hangover while you're at Waffle House. You know? Personally, that's my subjective opinion of it. 75,000 Bitcoin to 110 by the end of the month. Where do you guys Bitcoin will end the year in 2026? Long term on Bitcoin. Still rejecting at 725s here. Here, guys, we got 14 minutes into the market open, so let's see what we get. Honestly, it's been a weird day. I don't own any Bitcoin, but watch it pretty closely. 69,000, 250,000, 0. 120K end of the year. That's plausible. Why are we going green to red with no news? Sometimes markets are just markets, brother. I don't know. Y'all let me know why we've gone green to red. There's not really any reason for it. We don't really have any catalyst that drops this. Like, we had Microsoft announcing a super intelligence team formation. Kathy Wood cuts Bitcoin bull case on stablecoin growth. She said that her most bullish Bitcoin forecast, she lowered it, citing the rapid rise of stablecoin. She now sees Bitcoin reaching 1.2 million by 2030, down from 1.5 as stablecoins take on a role she once expected Bitcoin to fill. Yeah, I mean, look at the poll here. Is Michael Burry correct about an upcoming market correction? 54% say yes, he is. 46% say no, he's not. But a majority of people think we're going to correct in a bubble. And that's an interesting percentage. A majority of people think we're going to correct in a bubble. I think that's interesting. Opening bells in what? 12 minutes? 11 minutes? Take my hat off here. We will correct, but not until the new year. Yeah, I mean, we might correct years from now. I'm not sure. We might be correct years from now. News, we got Mike Johnson saying that he's going to win the Supreme Court case. Yeah, but wouldn't that be something he says, though? You know, I'm not saying he's wrong. The question is, how does the market react if they backtrack the tariffs? You know, and again, I'm not sure. I think we could have a good reaction. We could have a fearful reaction. I think a good reaction is more more likely. But I think we got the Tesla pay package decision today too. Hey, thank you, Mickey. Appreciate it, brother. Opening bell can dip the market, yeah, for sure. This is just a pullback in my opinion. Look at the 21-day EMA, we touched it. 4% difference should push for another pull, asking when the market crash. Yeah, but a majority of people thinking we're gonna correct. That's a big percentage. Of 700 votes, a big percentage. I'm not even the most bearish person out here. So all right, guys, opening bell coming soon, 10 minutes. NASDAQ dropped a lot and then went flat. I don't really see any reason for it either. All right, so Ray Dalio, which is a legendary hedge fund person, said, quote, "Did you see the Fed's announcement that it will stop QT and begin QE?" I don't know if they're going to start QE, but I mean, that's generally the next step, but they said more specifically, if the balance sheet starts expanding significantly while interest rates are being cut, while the fiscal deficits are large, we will view that as a classic monetary and fiscal interaction of the Fed and the Treasury to monetize government debt, says Dalio. And he said, if that happens when private credit and capital market credit creation are strong, stocks are at highs, credit spreads and unemployment are near lows, inflation is still high, and AI stocks are in a bubble, it will look to me like the Fed is stimulating into a bubble, end quote. He said that's what makes what is happening different in ways that seem to make it more dangerous and inflationary. It looks like a bold and dangerous big bet on growth, especially AI growth financed through looseness in fiscal policies, monetary policies, and regulatory policies that we'll have to monitor closely to navigate well. Do you guys agree with that? That this is driving us into a bubble, inflationary bubble potentially? And, let me know. I would say the definition of a correction is, in this case, I'm talking more like on the deeper end of a correction, like 15+%. You know, like 15+% is what I'm looking at. As a result for Elon. I think it's at 4 p.m., right? As the Elon vote. Let me make sure. Let me check. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern, but I might be wrong. All right, guys, 7 minutes until the market opens. Yeah. You guys think we correct at least 15% sometime this year? Checking to see. I think it's at 4 p.m. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Chat, let me know when you guys think it is. $4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Central. So it's the vote for Elon's pay package. Again, 4 p.m. It's at the Tesla annual shareholder meeting is what this is. So 4 p.m. Eastern time today is when we're going to get the announcement. NASDAQ's still falling here, guys. Still falling. What's today? Today's the 6th. Okay, good. Yeah, Nvidia and other market-heavy stocks will fall 15% or more from their highs without substantial breadth of the market. I don't see how the entire markets don't correct 10 to 15% as well before Q3. Yeah, I saw that the Challenger job cuts, Diamond. 150,000. It's the highest since... You're actually wrong there. So... Diamond, it's the highest since 2003 from my understanding. I might be wrong, but I think the Challenger job cuts in October were the highest since 2003. Also, the president speaks at 11 o'clock on a weight loss drug, reducing prices of weight loss drugs. NASDAQ's still falling down here. I don't really see a reason for this market drop. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, look at ASTI. A lot of people talking about it. Solar company. I'm just not bullish in them. Maybe I'm wrong. Top 3 greatest level ever right here. All right, guys, here we go. We got 4 minutes left. Again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Again, we're on day 37 of the government shutdown. FAA announces a 10% reduction in airline traffic in 40 markets. People don't know how to determine value for AI. Not saying I do. Yeah, I mean, nobody does. More sellers than buyers? Yeah, for sure. It's a lack of liquidity? Maybe. Alright, guys, we got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. We're going to day trade live at the opening bell, as we always do. People are looking at the government shutdown ending to be a bottom call for Bitcoin. Somebody said a poly market whale just bet 102.8 thousand on the government shutdown ending between today. But I don't know. Ending by tomorrow. But I think that's a bad bet. He's probably already lost that bet. Wait, is today 36 or 37? I think he wins. So you think we close or we reopen the government by tomorrow? NASDAQ still breaking down here ahead of the opening bell. We got a minute and a half left. I think it was Poly Market. But yeah. $3,000 for tomorrow. Hey, good luck, man. I'm not taking that bet. I want the government shutdown to end. The U.S. has dismissed the criminal charges Boeing over 737 crashes, according to Bloomberg. They also said the press doesn't have any plans to strike Venezuela, which is good. All right, guys, here's the opening bell pretty soon here. Let's get ready. Market's about to open. I got too many windows up. All right, guys, here's the bell. Good luck. Let me start the music back. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you catch back up to the stream here. But see what happens now. A lot of stuff broke down. There's the opening bell just now. Market just opened. I gotta wait at least 4 minutes to trade here. Still dropping here. Look at this drop. I don't know what to do here. Amazon's actually up a little bit, but look at Nvidia fall, which is really what's driving this. Nvidia back down to 195s. Palantir breaking down to at 186. So microchip and AI weakness is what we're seeing this morning, guys. Still falling here. Look at Palantir and Nvidia drop. Nvidia trying to go red on the day if it breaks under this 195.20 level, but we are seeing a bounce back here. Palantir struggling. Let's look at Robinhood. Robinhood's falling down too. A lot of stuff's weak as we speak here. Trump may have to refund tariffs if they do some Caterpillar, Nike, Five Below, Best Buy, Gap might benefit from it. We'll see. Still dropping here this morning. Although Nvidia did bounce right at the previous close here. AI stocks still looking weak here. AMD down. Apple down. Netflix down. Gold's right at 4,000. Just bounced right at 4,000. Tesla down 2. Nvidia fighting its way back up. Maybe Nvidia wants to break 200s. We'll see. We've had some drops in pre-market, but it doesn't mean we're going to keep dropping now. Let's see what happens here. Almost back up to 685s right now. 685s almost. Nvidia back up to 197s though. Technically green since the opening bell. Yeah, Tesla, the pay package is going to get voted on for Tesla, so I'm looking for volatility. But look, here's a drop right now. If I take a position, it's going to be small right now. Like, I might buy this if it looks juicy enough. We'll buy maybe one contract right here. See if Nvidia keeps rising up and everything else keeps bouncing back. It's definitely risky. We're trading small, by the way. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna cut it right there and just get out. Yeah. Gonna wait. Let's see if Nvidia holds this VWAP area right here at 196. If it does, we might buy again on a pullback. But I got it. We're still pretty close to the bell. We're only 5 minutes into the day, so just be careful here, guys. Again, we're day trading on Top Step. If you want to check out Top Step, no PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading stocks in terms of patterns. No PDT rule. Great way to learn. Best way to learn. $50 risk versus thousands funding your own account. It just makes sense to learn with small risk. If you pass it, 90% split, similar to funding your own account. Look at the Nasdaq break lows here. There's the link if you want to check it out. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course. Confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. Still breaking down here. We're at 624s. Nvidia turns. Did not hold the VWAP. Gold still elevated back up to 4,010 roughly. Bitcoin diving down to the lows of the day here, I think. Yeah, lows of the day for Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to do another poll here. And the poll is, I think that's a good question. Traders or investors? I'm going to give both as an option as well. Vote in the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Assuming both is going to win. You should be both if you're a trader. Like, I don't know who's trading and not, you know, investing money as well. I think that's a mistake. All right, look at Robinhood, though. Robinhood just cracked lows at the open. Ooh. Market kind of slow since the opening bell. I'm just kind of waiting. Got one trade in, very small. We're down so much, though. All right, we'll try 2 micro contracts here. There we go. We're green. There we go. We were green. There we go. Nice. Take half off. I'm scalping right now, guys. I don't trust this market. I'll see if this bounces back more since we already took profit some here. Go. Nice. I'm gonna cut that right there. Very nice gain. I'll take it. I don't trust it. I'm scalping this moves. I just don't trust markets right now. I'm going long based off of like probabilities, but if it gets stuck going down, I don't want to be there to hold it. Yeah, 4.36%. We're starting to move back up. We're at 664s. Look at that level, bro. Or no, I drew this level actually. I would love to take credit for this level, but I literally just drew it based off of this. I would love to pretend it bounced there and this level was there before. It wasn't. I would love it. I'd love to, you know, I'm gonna act like it was. Greatest level ever right there. But I drew this previously. Although look at this level here. Maybe you had the level pawn. I don't know. I said I was going to buy the meta dip. Do I want to buy meta here? All right. Meta, you've talked me into it again, bro. This is like the 3rd time I'm trying to buy meta in the last week. It's all pretty small, but small size here, guys. Small size. All right, we're in. I'm going to leave it here, too. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to look at this for a week, guys. Don't let me look at meta for a week. All right. I don't even want to look at you for a week. Although I will set a stop loss. Where do I want my stop to be? I would say like maybe like 575. You sound more and more like the president every day. It's a fabulous level. I walked in the room, I looked at that level, I said, wow, what a fabulous level. You know? Top 3 level ever, right there. Let me know how I did. I tried right there for you, just for you, you know. All right, meta's down to 625s. Don't let me look at it, guys. Yeah, big beautiful level right there. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna name it that. Remember, 620, big beautiful level. Look at Meta dropping more after I buy it. I swear, if I lose again on Meta, I'm never buying it again. I would never buy you again, Meta. What a drop. Yeah. I can't help but buy a little bit down here, you know. November canceled. I don't know. I think people aren't used to red days now, though. I'm going to try to buy this again down here. Might add one more to this here. There we go. Go green. There we go. Not it. Okay, there we go. We're gonna take half off up there. Gonna look for 620, the big beautiful level right there, 620. Alright, I'm gonna just get out there. I couldn't hold it to the big beautiful level. I just don't trust it enough. I'm actually green on Meta now. Three demerits. Getting serious. Palantir is up. Somehow I'm green on this account. Ugh. It went close to the level here. Again, I don't trust anything right now, to be honest. Everything's too sketchy looking at this point in time. Sure, Michael Burry's happy somewhere, except for Palantir being up. Nvidia's at 195s, bro. Nvidia just technically went red on the day, and this is Nvidia and Meta are dragging Nasdaq and S&P down today. Things look heavy. Things look heavy. Are you covering the Tesla pay package announcement? No. I just don't know if that, I mean, like, it might move stuff. It's probably not big enough for me to cover. No offense to it. I mean, it's important, but I don't usually cover the Tesla shareholder meetings. I just don't. Nasdaq back up here. Swinging back higher. Again, Michael Burry says, no. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin is on sale. In some swings today. Yields are back down to 4.1% if we look at 10-year treasuries. They're down today. They've been dropping all morning for yields. We take a look at rate odds. Rate odds are actually up a little bit. It was at 65 earlier. Now it's at 69%. I wonder how this is influenced by the shutdown. I'm assuming people think like me, in which, you know, if we don't get economic data soon, it's more likely we're going to cut in December because we don't have any economic data to change that tune. We did have ADP data come out, and we're also going to get a weekly ADP report come out every Tuesday that we will cover. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we have higher or lower chance of rate cuts if the government stays shut down? Nvidia climbing back up though. It still looks weak for Nvidia though here, to be honest. But lower? You think the odds that we cut rates are lower if we have no data? Lower? Why? I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just curious. Again, we're at 4,000 for gold right now, 4K. All right, so JP Morgan says Bitcoin now looks cheap versus gold after future sell-off. They said one of their strategists, specifically Nicholas, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this last name. Old Nick over here said Bitcoin's sharp drop over 20% in October after peaking at 126 was driven by heavy deleveraging in futures and fallout from 128 million crypto theft. With leverage back to normal levels, he said Bitcoin now appears undervalued relative to gold on volatility adjusted basis. To match gold's private investment value, Bitcoin would need to rise to about 170K. I think you pronounce this name Panagurtsaglu. Added that most of the futures unwinding is likely over, making Bitcoin's near-term outlook more stable. Yeah, NASDAQ up here. Yeah, rates are going down either way, yeah. I think that's right. Look at this drop. I'm gonna buy this here. It's risky for sure though. We already got a cushion on the day, so we can play with it. Take two. Retrace. Trading within my cushion, by the way, guys, just to clarify, but it's a big red candle here. Usually these red candles get balled up. We'll see if it does. There we go. It's balled up. We'll take half off there. A little bit more off there. There we go. All right, we're out. Caught the bounce. All right, look at that drop here, guys. So we're still dropping pretty fast. I don't see any reason for this drop either. I think it's just microchip weakness, to be honest. Nvidia turned it all the way back down, going red on the day. Nvidia technically red right now. Crypto pump is constant. Price targets are aggressive. Very choppy start. I feel like there are more sellers though. Yeah, I mean, it looks heavy right now. Everything looks heavy. And this is, again, driven by specifically Nvidia here. Nvidia down to 140, 194.40s here, 194.40s. So Nvidia's fallen all the way back down to the like 190 level here. If we take a look at Nvidia over a 30-minute chart, Nvidia's testing the lows it made back on the 4th, and it looks continuously weak here. AMD's breaking down too. Look at AMD down here. Look at this red candle showing up, man. I don't see anything. I really don't. Causing these drops. See nothing in microchips. Oh, it should cause these drops. I think it's just fear catching at the open. Hey, later, Corey. Have a good day, bro. Later, Tiny. Have a good day. Tesla at 460s. Do I try to buy 550 here? All right, I'll try. I'm gonna pivot to like start small and add to it if I'm green strategy now, since I'm green enough on this account of the day. There we go. I'm gonna add to this now. There we go. Take half off up here. Take another half off up there. 550 worked, but I'll add to this again. Again, we'll use the same strategy. We're going to start small and then add to it if we go green. Close. Not enough, though. We're gonna have to cut it. We got a little bit of, like, we're still very green on the day here, but unless we get, like, balled up fast, I could try to play with this. I'm trying to catch a falling knife here, which is always dangerous, but we'll try. We got the cushion on the day we could do it on, so I think we've dropped enough to where stuff's still gonna start getting exhausted on the downside. Doesn't have to happen, though. There we go. We're green again, almost. Back at lows of the day here. I don't really like the retest of 550. I'll hold it because we're trading with the cushion that we have on the day already, but start to crack lows again here. We cut half there. Need to cut the rest. Where's Nvidia at? I stopped looking at Nvidia. Nvidia looks like it wants to regain some strength here. Yeah, I'm starting to cover mine again. We gave it a shot. We took the risk, and now we're about flat on the day. All right, microchips just keep falling here. To be honest, Nvidia keeps dipping. AMD keeps dipping. We do trade. We'll trade a different one. Again, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. Yeah, market just keeps dropping is what this is, unfortunately. So I'll put the link up if you want to check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. So you can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold. Most day traders lose money, so it makes sense to limit your risk with something like this. And it's just a great way to learn when most day traders lose. But yeah, microchip's still weak, still falling. See if we get a liquidity grab down here, or what happens. But man, just massive weakness in microchips. We'll see if this is the correction today or not. Still looking really weak for NASDAQ and microchips. Definitely a little bit of a bloody day here, guys. Did I put the link up? Big, beautiful correction. Yeah, it's a big correction. On the intraday basis. Let's see how much percentage-wise we're down. It's not the biggest. Like, it's probably a couple percent. But let me look at the NASDAQ. Actually, the NASDAQ, yeah, look at this drop. NASDAQ is down, 25,533. So the NASDAQ is down almost 1% today. It's not even a couple percent, so it's still small. We can still bounce back. I'm going to get out of here, though, guys. Again, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. As soon as I close this stream, it's going to bring you to tomorrow's stream. We'll see if the shutdown continues into tomorrow. My guess is it will, but we'll see what happens. Again, be smart, guys. A lot of craziness going on. And be careful. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day. Again, not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose, make your own assessment. Trade smart. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what happens overnight. We'll see what happens with the pay package announcement at 4 p.m. for Tesla. I'll see you guys over there.